Hey, it's Ed. I've been studying music and music apps and creating music for several years. YouTube's my number one source of learning. I'd like to share a sampling of some of the best for me, YouTube music education sites. All these channels are run by people that I feel are committed to their craft and passionate about what they're doing. So let's take a look. Rick Beato. I consider Rick Beato a mentor. I've been watching him for several years, and I think without him, I would not be anywhere with music at all. I started early on watching his videos, and once I got hooked, I just kept going and going and going, and I've never looked back. And I've learned so much from him, and had so much fun watching him, and he continues to inspire me. He's got amazing people, he's got amazing stories, amazing content. That's all I can say. He's just a legend.
We're going to talk about how to use modulations in your compositions. Now, off the top of my head, I thought of 11 different modulation possibilities. So let's talk about how to use this. Okay, so let's hear what the diatonic common chord modulation sounds like. We'll be in the key of G, just like we were. I'm going to start on G major here, so it's going to go G major, C major, 5, then I go 3, B minor, E minor, here's your modulation, A major to D major. I start out in the C Hungarian minor scale, and I'll have it on the screen, and then I go to the C super Locrian double flat 7 scale. I'm curious to see what you think is the darker of the scales. They have darkness in a different way. Check it out.
It did have a purpose, but it didn't have the purpose wasn't to be a hit. It was to explain rap music is not foreign. That was the purpose of the song. It was an educational experiment or an exercise.
It revived Aerosmith's career completely.
And there's a little door that closes normally, and I'm inside the house, as we call it. Mm-hmm. And I just allow myself, it's allowing myself to fall on my face. You know, allowing myself to not create something beautiful.
David Bennett is one of my favorite people on YouTube because he is so accessible, approachable. The content he has is so interesting, but he makes it fun. And you can just see he's having a great time with his material, and he just loves talking about music and teaching about music. So let's take a look.
Today, I'm going to play you 17 of the most iconic, beloved classical piano works ever composed. Beginning with this one. It's really not uncommon to see the same chord progression be used time and time again in a whole range of different songs. So let's start off by looking at this chord progression. 1, 5, flat 7, 4. In the key of C, that's C, G, B flat, F. The second thing is the way it mixes two different scales, two different modes. The first two chords belong to the major scale. But as you might have noticed, the B flat chord, the flat 7 chord, doesn't belong in the major scale. This is actually from a similar scale called the Mixolydian scale, which is exactly the same as the major scale, but has a flattened 7th degree. Being able to refer to certain common rhythms by name is really valuable when communicating with fellow musicians. So today we're going to look at 18 different rhythms, starting with the son clave. A clave is a concept from Afro-Cuban music where there's effectively a master rhythm, a key rhythm, acting as a template on top of which all of the other rhythmic parts will be built. And son clave is one of the most common types of clave, and it sounds like this.
Pete Jones to me is like a friendly neighbor who lives down the street who happens to know everything about GarageBand, about Logic Pro for iPad, about making music, about mixing, mastering, using your equipment, composing music, creating music for yourself, you name it. Check it out and you'll see what's there. Let's take a look.
Logic Pro for iPad has just had a big new update, and in this video I'm going to tell you the 7 coolest new features in under 1 minute. 1. The new Hybrid Textures sound pack. Go to your browser, tap Sound Library and tap on the Hybrid Textures, download and use the cool new sounds. 2. Support for 32-bit float recording. Go to the top right, go to Settings, go to Recording, tap on Bit Depth and change to 32-bit float. 3. Split View. Tap on the 3 dots at the top, tap on Split View, select another app, and you can now run Logic Pro side by side with any other app. If you're having trouble getting your drums sounding exactly the way you want them here in GarageBand, in this video I'm going to show you how. Let's go. There's quite a few ways to add drums in GarageBand, including the drummer and the beat sequencer, but let's focus in on the acoustic drums. We're going to go to drums and tap on acoustic drums. Step 1 to great drums in GarageBand is to select the right kit. To do that, we tap on the button in the middle here. The SoCal kit is cool. I kind of like the Sunset kit, so I'm going to select that one and we're ready to go. Step 2, I like to change a couple of settings here with the drums. Go up to the top, tap on settings and tap on track settings here. Quantization, I turn this off. If you have this on, you'll sometimes find that once you've played in your part, it doesn't sound the way you want it. If you want to connect things to your iPad like an audio interface, a MIDI keyboard, a USB flash drive, or even an HDMI display, in this video I'm going to show you how. Let's go. In 2024, all iPads and even iPhones now use USB-C connections, which means you need a USB-C adapter to plug in other USB and HDMI gear. If you're using an older iPad or iPhone, you'll need one of these, a Lightning to USB 3 adapter. I talk all about these in another video.
Aimee Nolte is the piano teacher I wish I had when I was a kid. Some people are born to be teachers, and Aimee is one of them. She covers jazz piano, but she covers so much more. So let's take a look.
Da 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 da. That's the first one. Lately I find myself out gazing at stars. Here it comes. Hearing guitars like someone. That's how that one sounds, and we'll go over it later. Hi everybody, welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. Today I'm excited to show you 4 ways to make your 2-5-1s a little more interesting.
This is a fun one. This one I'm going to play a chord and you're going to sing like ma. You're just going to arpeggiate up to the 7th, but each time I go up a half step, I'm going to change the chord quality.
The 4 notes that open What'll I Do, written by Irving Berlin. What'll I do when you are far away and I'm blue? What'll I do?
Jade Starr music. Now, I've been following Jade Starr for several years, from the very beginning when I first started trying to make music on an iPad and computer. I've been following ever since, and I've learned so much. I'm still continuing to learn from Jade. She has literally thousands of videos where she's covered apps, she's covered music, how to create music, mixing, mastering, you name it. She covers everything. She's got commentary, she's got entertainment stuff, she does shows, she does performances. I mean, it's across the board. Now, it's a wide variety of content, and there's some stuff that's a little edgy that may not be for everybody. All of Jade's content is authentic, honest, unabashed, and straight from the heart. So, you know, there you go.
know you can use 2 audio interfaces when using Logic Pro for iPad? Well, we're about to find out. My name's Jade, this is How to App on iOS, and this is the Daily Digest. Let's have a look. So I've got a project open here in Logic Pro. I've set an auto drummer, so we're ready to go with some heavy drums. Also, I have connected here my Spark amplifier from Positive Grid. Now, in the old days, when you would try and connect this bad boy up, it would overtake the interface that you had plugged in. But only in Logic now, you can have both of them connected. So let's show you how to do it. I've got this Spark connected into a powered hub at the back. Also, my Arturia is connected into the powered hub at the back, which is going into the iPad. Let's have a look at Logic. How do you set this up? So now we've got the Spark going in, and we've got the mini fuse going out. Pretty wicked stuff.
Here's Kate Boyd. She is a professor of piano at Butler University, and she has all sorts of content that is at a professional level. Amazing. Another person who is just born to be a teacher. You can just tell, and she just has so much fun, and I have so much fun watching her. I think you will too. Let's take a look.
Today I'm going to do a tutorial on Debussy's First Arabesque. This is a very popular piece full of delicate nuances and enchanting harmonies, and pianists love playing it. In this video, I'm going to be going phrase by phrase through the piece, focusing on musical, structural, and compositional features that can help you in your own interpretation. Here's how the beginning of the piece goes. This is the introduction. The overall feel of the piece is it's going down. In the bass, we have C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F, E, D sharp, C sharp. Often, students start at the beginning and they learn the first measure, and then they learn the second measure, and they work their way through note by note. But by doing that, you lose a sense for the overall shape and form.
Dan Baker is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's a musician out of the UK, and he talks a lot about music. He uses GarageBand, but he talks about music theory and all sorts of things, and he's just so much fun to watch. He has a great, dry sense of humor, but his content is absolutely top-notch. Another one, born to be a teacher, no doubt about it, and a great musician, too. Let's take a look.
Online, you'll find 1,001 scales that you can play over particular chords or chord sequences, and the array of them is quite bewildering. Somebody's going, well, what do I do? And do I need to play scales, or do I need to play modes, or do I need to do anything of the sort? Surely I can just use my ears, etc. Well, the answer is it's sort of based on experience. But I'm going to show you 4 scales, and they're grouped into 2 main categories, major and minor. Just those 4 things, and then just armed with a few sort of extra little bits and pieces, you can play creative solos that say something actually relevant to the music rather than just lots and lots of notes. Let's have a look. So everything works fine there. Absolutely fine. So I've got the second note and the 6th. The good thing with the minor is that there aren't any of these clash notes that you have with the major just now. If I do the whole scale again over this minor, nothing there gets in the way.
Brian Kelly has a site called Zombie Guitar. This is the channel, and he has courses and things like that. He teaches guitar, and For me personally, this is my breakthrough. This is where I finally learned to understand some basic things about the guitar that I just couldn't get through my head. And Brian broke through it for me, and I've been following ever since. I've been following him for years, and it's been fantastic. He talks a lot about music theory, and he makes it so accessible and so easy to understand. So let's take a look.
With every song, there's some sort of secret that can be unlocked. You don't always know what it is, but dissect a song long enough, and then you can kind of figure it out. I figured out that for this song, that tapping my foot on the 2 and the 4, which you may have heard in the demo, is really what helped me out. So kind of just using my hands, dot, 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 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, searching for something. Something never comes, never leads to nothing. Alright, so this nev, my, keeping that tap with your foot. For me, this was just the trick. This was the thing that unlocked it for me.
Patrick Baird is a GarageBand expert, both in iPad and Mac, and along with Jade, Starr, and Pete Johns. I'm going to call him like the triumvirate of GarageBand music education. Those are my top 3. He's right up there, and he's got all sorts of content. If you want to learn about GarageBand, making music, and tips and tricks, this is your place. Start there and see, and let's take a look.
In this video, I'm going to share what I think are the best free audio unit instruments that you can use in your GarageBand and Logic Pro projects. With Odin 2, you're getting high-quality emulations of legendary analog filters, like the Moog Ladder or Korg 35. In this video, I'm going to show you how to import MIDI files into your GarageBand for iOS projects. Alright, so you'll want to be working in GarageBand's Tracks view for this. If you just want to get here and import your files, the easiest way is to head to the drummer in the instrument select screen and just hit Acoustic. The tracks view will load up and you can just mute or delete the drummer region. It's just a case of tapping, holding, and dragging your file into a new track. Here's where you'll probably hit a bit of a snag though. Only 8 bars of your file will play. You'll find the reverb and echo sliders here beneath the plugins section. So if I set this track off and add some reverb to it by moving the slider, you can hear the default reverb effect being added to it.
I discovered Joe Luger's Music Academy about a year ago, and it's fantastic for me. It's got all sorts of information on music theory, sight singing, chords, progressions, all sorts of things, heavy-duty music theory stuff. As you can see, it's his Music Academy, and I think it's fantastic. I'm having incredible fun with this. I visit there all the time just to brush up on some ear training and stuff like that. So let's take a look.
A chord is usually a combination of 3 or more notes. Throw C, E, and G together, you get a C major chord. Throw these notes together, you get a G major 7 sharp 11 chord. Some people say that the number of possible chords is as infinite as the universe itself. Except for me. I don't say that. The truth is, you don't need to learn infinite chords, you just need to learn a few shapes and patterns, and you'll know all the chords you ever need to know. I will play a series of chords in C major. Please identify those chords as a perfect cadence, plagal cadence, deceptive cadence, or half cadence. The answer will be spoken after the bell, as well as the Roman numerals and letter names for those chords. Perfect cadence. The chords were C, G, C, or 1, 5, 1.
Open Studios, run by what I call the dynamic duo of Peter Martin and Adam Manis, fine jazz musicians, and just so much fun. They offer all sorts of content. They have courses, they have podcasts that they do quite frequently, And it's just so much fun. They talk about jazz, but they also talk about lots of things related to jazz. And so there's really something here for everyone, even if you're not that into jazz. You might just find yourself falling into the hole of jazz like me and not wanting to escape. So let's check it out.
Now, there's nothing wrong with this. But wouldn't you also like to be able to do this? That's what we're going to be working on today. My name's Adam Manis, and these are the sugar chords. Why do we call them the sugar chords? Because they're so sweet. So here's how we get that sweet, sweet sound. We get it with 3 different chord voicing structures. You probably have at least heard of all of these, but you might not know how you can use them together to create such a sweet sound. So there are 3 different voicing structures. Now, what we're going to be using today to build our chords are a couple of 6th diminished scales. The famous Barry Harris 6th diminished scale. We work on it all the time over here on Open Studio. You probably know what it is. Check out how this sounds with drop 2. Okay, the same passage, bars 9 through 12, with the same 6 diminished scales that we're using. We're still starting on the diminished here, but we're going to use a drop 2 structure. So instead of the closed voicings, we're going to take the 2nd from the top note of each one of those closed voicings, and we're going to put it in the left hand, an octave lower. Again, that sounds amazing. It's a whole other...
This channel is run by Jake Lizzio, and I've found stuff here that I can't find anywhere else. Stuff that I've learned about chords, about harmony, about progressions, about guitar and music theory that is just unique and so good. He puts so much time and effort in every video. It's totally professional and so fun. So let's check it out.
I'm Jake Lizzio, and welcome to my advanced VHS tutorial class on composing with the Mixolydian mode. In this video, we'll learn the secrets to taking simple chords and transforming them into sick riffs that make the crowd go wild.
There's a lot to get to in this video because we are going to be writing and producing an entire radio release ready single. So let's get started with the writing. The inspiration here all came from that Mixolydian sound. If you've watched my other videos on Mixolydian, you know that I think it works very well for high energy, fun, fist-pumping rock. It has all the happiness of major, but it doesn't have that sweetness. It doesn't have that cleanness to it. It's like major's older cousin that grew up on the other side of town. So A minor, and then D sus4 to D, right? And the rhythm that I ended up writing here actually ended up evolving from a combination of the vocal melodies. Initially, I was just plowing away at those chords, but once I heard the vocal melodies evolving, I ended up changing my guitar parts to help complementing the vocal. You're gonna get what's coming to you.
This is Warren Huart. He is a producer and musician, and I've been watching this for a few years, and I absolutely love this channel. One of my favorite aspects is the Artists Who Changed Music series. It's sort of mini documentaries, but there's all sorts of stuff in here about mixing, mastering, interviews with legendary musicians and stuff like that. Tons and tons of stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Let's take a look.
Charlie Christian was to jazz what Jimi Hendrix was to rock. Both guitarists were at the forefront of a new musical genre, came up with a revolutionary approach to playing their instrument, and ended up becoming the benchmark for generations of guitarists after them. For these reasons, both Hendrix and Christian are counted as among the most influential musicians of the 20th century. In France, meanwhile, Django Reinhardt was influenced by jazz and gypsy music and solved the volume issue by playing a Selmer resonator guitar together with violinists and other guitarists. The Gibson ES-150 was the world's first successful electric acoustic guitar. It was what Durham played by the time he taught Christian. and Christian immediately swapped his Epiphone Deluxe Acoustic Archtop for an ES-150. And guitar and the amplifier gave Christian a completely new, edgy sound, with a hint of distortion, and marked the first serious steps towards a leather.
This is a great channel for me because I'm trying to learn some pop piano pieces, and Pierre breaks these things down for you, makes it very easy to follow along and do it yourself. He's also someone that was encouraged by Beato to do his channel, and he's doing fantastic. So let's take a look.
Coming in at number 5, Benny and the Jets. I love this one. Okay, for Benny and the Jets, I mean, all you need to hear is the first chord. And that's actually what he does live. He just sits and goes and waits for the audience to scream because they instantly know what it is. And it's a 2-chord intro. It's just G major 7 and then F major 7. And he just sort of splits the chords up and inverts
them. When I have a question about piano scales, fingering, piano rhythms, notation, this is the first place I go. I sent my mom here because she was having some trouble understanding piano rhythm notation, and she got it right away, right after she took a look at a couple of the videos here, and it was fantastic. So let's check it out.
Today I'm going to give you some exercises that are proven to help develop your two-hand piano playing. I'm going to give these to you in order of difficulty so you know where to start and where to go from there. Your piano teacher Tim here, and the first exercise I have for you is the 5-finger exercise. This one's real simple. All we're going to be doing is taking our leftmost finger on each hand, plopping it over C, and then laying the rest of the fingers over the next consecutive notes. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be starting from the bottom C, going to D, E, F, G at the top, and then back down to C, and that'll just get you some basic coordination. Today I'm going to teach you about how to play some tricky rhythm patterns, and the first one we're going to start with today is the 16th note triplet. You can make any triplet easy by understanding one concept, that a triplet is 3 evenly spaced notes in the place of another note. In this case, we have a 16th note triplet taking up the value of an
This channel is run by Prehn, a musician and educator, and it's been fantastic. I've learned stuff here that I've not found anywhere else. He's got stuff about scales that I've never seen anywhere, and it blew my mind. And he's got these hand grip things that he shows you how to do on the piano, which I've never seen anywhere else. Really fascinating stuff. Let's take a look.
In this lesson, I'll show you a simple but yet very efficient method to become both fast and steady on the piano. Improvising music is all about playing with a nice, solid and cool rhythmic feeling. If we can obtain that, I'll claim that we are 99% on our way to improvising music. Because having a strong rhythmic self-confidence, we can play just any note and the audience will still believe in us. And look, we can actually play every single key in the right hand if we just do it steadily with a strong rhythmic self-confidence. Our tapping exercise 1. Now we finally have the opportunity to visit our lovely piano. So what sound can we make out of our tapping exercises? Well, at different positions. Yes, I can really feel how my tapping practice has improved my piano skills a lot already. In this lesson, I'll teach you a very simple way to understand how all scales that are well suited for building up harmonies are ordered and related to each other. We'll end up systemizing 33 scales in total. First, we'll have the theory section, learning the very big picture and how all scales can be so very nicely ordered. Then we try out the scales in practice, and we learn when to use each scale. 7 different family members, right? Now, look at the interval steps on our major scale. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and a half step. On our circle, we have written down the interval steps. So, all the scale members of a family have the same circular interval pattern, right? The individual scales just have different starting points on that pattern. Now, let's write down the interval steps of each scale. Now, let's move on to family 2, family members. So, here we have the 2nd degree, 3rd degree, 4th degree, 5th degree, 6th degree, and 7th degree. Again, all these 7 scales belong to the same family because what 7th chord can we use this scale? Well, we simply just pick out every 2nd note. So, let's try out some of them. What about D Locrian with a raised 6th step, to G Phrygian dominant, to C harmonic minor? Or what about D altered